Hello everyone, welcome back to our Missi Care Online Health Talk. Today we'll talk about healthy diet, alright? So for the next few slides, we're going to talk about what is healthy diet and all the facts about healthy diet. And of course, we'll talk about benefit, why we should adopt healthy diet. Right, what is healthy diet? Healthy diet is one that we still can manage to get very good amount of micronutrient in a balanced way, and to support the energetic and physiological needs in our body without the excess intake, while also providing sufficient micronutrient and hydration to meet our physiological needs of our body. Now, what are those macronutrients? What do you mean by macronutrients? Macronutrients means, like, for example, carbohydrate that we usually heard about, protein and fat. And these are the micronutrients, the things that provide us the major source of energy that our body requires. Whereas micronutrients is like things like vitamins, minerals, we body may need it in a small amount in order for our body to function. Normal growth, metabolism of our cells, things like that. Now, this is the typical pyramid where at the top of the pyramid of the food chain, we should consume less. As we go down the pyramid, we can consume more. So this is called a balanced diet. Now, healthy diet is very important to protect us against malnutrition and at the same time protect us against non-communicable diseases, right? For example, stroke, heart attack, cardiovascular diseases, and also cancer. Now, of course, we know that unhealthy diet, lack of exercise can lead to global risk of health. Now, we talk about a few facts about healthy diet. Now, we'll look at the overview. Now, healthy diet should include adequate amount of fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and whole grains. Like, for example, at least about 400 grams of fruit and vegetables daily. Excluding potato, sweet potato, these are the starch, and less than 10% of the energy intake from free sugar, which is equivalent to about 50 grams. It should be the target. And better still, to achieve a better health condition, we should even aim about less than 5% of the total energy intake from free sugar. Now, free sugar are those sugar that added to our food and drinks by the manufacturer, cook or consumer, as well as sugar obtained from honey, syrup, fruit juice, and fruit juice concentrate. And those fruit juice and fruit juice concentrate, the sugar content there also considered as a free sugar. Now, less than 30% of the total energy intake should be from fats. And unsaturated fats are preferable to saturated fats or trans fats of all kinds. The intake of saturated fat should be reduced to less than 10% of the total energy intake, and trans fat should be less than 1% of the total energy intake. Later, we explain what are those saturated fat, unsaturated fats, and trans fats. Right? Now, less than 5 grams of salt per day should be the target. Now, benefit of eating healthy, for obviously we have make us live longer, keep our skin, teeth, and eyes healthy, and support our muscle bulk, boost our immunity, and strengthen our bones. Besides that, of course, it lowers the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. Right? It support a healthy pregnancy and breastfeeding, and of course, it helps our digestive system, right? And of course, it will maintain our good body weight. We go to macronutrient part of it. Carbohydrate is the primary source of energy in our diet and found in the abundance in grains, fruits, legumes, and vegetables. Whole grains are preferred over processed grain. Increased whole grain intake has been proven in literature research to reduce risk of coronary heart disease, stroke, cardiovascular disease, and cancer, and as well as reduce the death rate due to heart disease, stroke, lung problem, cancer, diabetic, and infection disease. Now, source of smart carbohydrate, if you look at it, starchy vegetables, they are a good source of carbohydrate. Whole grains preferred. Legumes are the good source of carbohydrate. How about protein? Protein provides a source of energy as well as amino acid, including those our body that cannot produce, which we call essential amino acid. They come from animals or come from plant as well, right? However, those protein or amino acid come from animal carry along with it with the saturated fat, which may not be so friendly to our body in terms of cardiovascular disease, cholesterol, and cancer, right? Red meat in particular may have associated with increased risk of, for example, colorectal cancer. So choosing which type of protein or amino acid is of vital importance so that we choose the more towards the vegetable base. Right? Adequate protein intake is important for maintaining our lean body mass throughout lifespan, in particular our muscle mass. Right? In elderly, protein play even more important role. Besides building the muscle mass, it can prevent fractures, prevent falls, and also improve the immune system. So you can see that on the left bottom list, these are the good source of protein, animal protein in particular. On the right side, for those vegetarian, can choose the right table. Those are the foods with the good vegetarian protein. Now, what about fats? Just now we mentioned about there are many types of fats, right? So monounsaturated fat, as mentioned at the top of that, considered as a good fat. Polyunsaturated fat also a good fat. The one that we commonly know is omega-6 and omega-3. And all these omega are very helpful, and we need it for our cardiovascular health. Saturated fat are so-called not so healthy fat. And the other one is trans fat. Trans fat even very bad fat that is not so healthy if you consume more. Now, unsaturated fat associated with reduced cardiovascular and death risk. Trans fat, to the less extent, saturated fat are associated with a negative impact on the health, including higher death rates. Two families of the polyunsaturated fat are like omega-3 and 6, which are well known to us and come in various supplement form. It's very important for our normal growth and reproduction system, and also for our vessels and cardiovascular health. Seafood, in particular, oily fish, will have a lot of EPA, DHA, omega-3 and 6, and you can take from the supplement. If you take it from the plant, certain nuts and some seeds and plant oils provide a very good source of omega-3 as well. Now, in particular about fat, as we mentioned earlier, fat intake, especially saturated fat, industrially produced trans fat, can be reduced by steaming or boiling instead of frying when cooking. Replacing butter, lard with oils rich in polyunsaturated fat, such as soybean, canola, corn, safflower, and sunflower oils. Now, eating reduced fat dairy foods and lean meats, or trimming the visible fat from the meat. Right? Limiting the consumption of the baked or fried food, or prepacked snack and food, mainly or processed food. Now, how about fiber? We all know that eating food high in fiber, for example, grains, fruit, vegetable, nuts, and beans, can help us stay regular and lower our risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and of course, improve our gut movement, reduce constipation. Besides that, you also improve our skin health and help us to lose weight. Now, the chart here, the photo here, so these are the good source of fiber, natural source. Now, fruit and vegetables. We mentioned earlier the last few previous slide, we have to consume about 400 grams of fruits and vegetables per day, and it helps us to reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases and help to ensure adequate daily intake of fiber as well. Now, we can improve it by always including vegetables in our meal, eating fresh fruit and raw vegetables as snacks, eating fresh fruit and vegetables that are in season, and eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. It has been proven that it can improve or reduce the risk of the non-communicable diseases, for example, hypertension, lung problem, lung cancer, and cardiovascular diseases. How about salt, sodium, and potassium? Now, commonly, most of us consume more salt than what we require, or we consume less potassium than what required, and that will cause increased risk of hypertension, right? and also indirectly increase risk of stroke and heart disease, heart attack. Now, reducing salt intake to recommended level of less than 5 grams a day can prevent 1.7 million deaths each year. How significant it is. Now, salt intake can be reduced by limiting the amount of salt and high sodium condiments, for example, soy sauce, fish sauce, when cooking or preparing food. Now, not to have any salt or high sodium sauce on the table, for example, ketchup, soy sauce, or table salt. Limiting the consumption of salty snacks, choosing products with low sodium content. Now, following this diagram show you those are the food with the hidden salt. Have to be careful. For example, breads, pizza, burritos, tacos, all the savory snacks, and of course the bacon, sausage, meat mixed dishes, pasta, and cheese. These are the food with the hidden salt. So we have to consume moderately, try to reduce it and not to consume it too frequent. Now, sugar, it should be the intake of free sugar should be reduced to less than 10% of the total energy intake. Now, you can reduce to 5%, even better for our health. Consuming free sugar increases the risk of dental caries, and excessive calorie from foods and drinks high in free sugar contribute to unhealthy weight gain, therefore can lead to overweight, obesity, and diabetes. Right? Reduction in free sugar alone reduces risk of cardiovascular disease. Now, how to reduce your sugar? Stop drinking sugary drink. Don't eat as much junk food. Reduce the amount of refined carbs that we are eating. Read the ingredient labels of the hidden sugar. Now, water. We know that 70% of our body made of water. So it shows how important water is to our body. Right? As you can see the chart below, beside the whole body in particular, the few organs in particular, for example, lungs, water constitutes 90% of the lung weight. Right? So it's important, and we encourage that we drink about 8 glasses of water a day, because water not only improves hydration to the cells, it also gives us all sorts of minerals and micronutrients, in particular calcium and magnesium. Right? Add color to your food. You can see the bottom diagram. Certain colors will improve certain part of the health aspect. Right? Deeper colored vegetables contain higher concentration of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And in other words, improve our immune system, protect our health, protect our brain, and improve our skin health as well. Right? Thank you.